My cousin asked me to watch her son for a weekend. That weekend turned into 3 months. No calls, no support. When I finally reached her, she said, "You wanted to be a mom so bad. There you go." She blocked me after that. I started the custody process alone. But when I found her social media account under a new name, what I discovered there was enough to start a case that would not only change her life, but also, I never planned on being anyone's backup plan. I never wanted to be the person people dumped their problems on. But when Shayla asked me to watch her son for the weekend, I didn't even hesitate. I should have asked more questions. I should have known better. But I didn't. I said yes like I always did when it came to family. It was a Friday night, early May. I remember because I was cleaning up my place when she texted me. Said something came up, she needed to go out of town. Could I watch Teddy just for the weekend? Teddy was 4. He was a good kid. Smart, quiet, always hugging people. I had watched him a few times before when she had late shifts or got overwhelmed. This felt the same, quick favor, no big deal. She showed up around 6 with a half-zipped backpack and a car idling in the driveway. Didn't come in. Just leaned down, kissed him on the head, said, "Be good for Cousin Jay," and handed me the bag. Then she was gone. I didn't think much of it at first. She was always moving fast, always dealing with something. The first night, Teddy cried a little for his mom, but fell asleep holding my hand. I figured I'd make pancakes Saturday, do some crafts, and by Sunday she'd be back. She didn't come back. She didn't text either. By Monday, I was calling her. No answer. By Wednesday, I was leaving voicemails. Nothing. By Friday, I was starting to panic. I called her friends, her mom, even her ex. Everyone acted like they hadn't heard from her in weeks. Some of them didn't even know she'd left town. I started thinking maybe something had happened to her, but she had just vanished. So I stepped in. I signed Teddy up for a local daycare so I could keep working. Bought him more clothes. Took him to the pediatrician for a checkup and vaccinations. He was behind. He had cavities. No one had been taking him to the dentist. The first time he called me mommy, I cried in the laundry room. Weeks passed. I was tired, overwhelmed, angry. But I kept going. Then out of nowhere, 2.5 months in, she called me. No warning. Just popped up on my screen as I was making dinner. I nearly dropped the phone trying to answer it. "Shayla?" I said, rushing into the other room. "Where the hell have you been? Teddy's been asking for you." "I've been." She cut me off. Calm, flat voice. Like she was bored. "You wanted to be a mom so bad," she said. "There you go." I couldn't speak. It was like my brain stalled. She gave this little laugh. "You always thought I was a mess. Now you get to play savior. Congrats." Then she hung up. Blocked my number. I just stood there holding the phone, listening to nothing. Teddy was in the living room coloring like it was a normal Tuesday night. That's when something changed in me. I stopped waiting. Stopped hoping. I called a lawyer the next day and started the paperwork to file for emergency guardianship. No help from anyone. Her mom said it was just a rough patch. Said I should give Shayla space. Give her space? She left her 4-year-old with a box of cereal and no forwarding address. Then came the part that flipped everything. About a month later, I couldn't sleep and started messing around on Instagram. Out of nowhere, I decided to try searching some of Shayla's old usernames. She used to have all kinds of accounts. She'd delete one, make another, start over all the time. And then I found it. New account. Shay Moon Rising. Different name, new hair, but the same tattoo on her wrist. It was her. And she was in Miami. Every post was like a slap. Her in nightclubs, in bikinis, in expensive clothes. Her with some guy. Older, covered in tattoos, always flashing money. Champagne in hotel rooms, yacht rides, spa days. Caption after caption bragging about finally living stress-free. But the one that did it for me was a mirror selfie, her in a tight black dress with the caption, "No baggage. No drama. Just peace." Black heart, she meant Teddy. She was calling her son baggage. I took screenshots of everything. And then I saw the videos. Her filming herself laughing at a club. the camera swinging over to the guy beside her counting stacks of $100 bills. She wrote, "When your man handles business, so you can stay stress-free kiss mark, I sent it all to my lawyer." That's when things moved fast. My lawyer said the videos could help my custody case if we could prove the money came from illegal activity. We started digging into the boyfriend, and it turned out he wasn't just some random guy. He was already on probation for drug trafficking, and he had open charges in 2 states. But there's more. We found out the boyfriend, his real name was Lester A. Darnell, was already being watched. DEA had been building a case on him for months. They just didn't know who the woman in the videos with him was. Not until I showed my lawyer. My lawyer passed the info to the right people. Within a week, federal investigators were looking at Shayla's account. Her captions, her photos, her location tags. All of it painted a picture of someone living off the grid, no job, no visible source of income, but somehow traveling, partying, dressed in designer stuff. And she had a kid she didn't mention. A kid she had abandoned without a word. That changed everything in my case. We filed for full custody, not just guardianship. I had to give statements, turn over screenshots, logs, even the voicemail Shayla had left months earlier before she blocked me. You wanted to be a mom so bad. It became part of the record. But things didn't stop there. One afternoon, I was called into a meeting with a state investigator. He wanted to confirm something. He slid a photo across the table, grainy, taken from a security cam in Miami. It was Shayla. But she wasn't alone. She was holding a baby. I stared at the picture, confused. "That's not Teddy," I said. The investigator nodded. "We know. She'd had another child. Nobody told me. No one in the family said a word. Turns out, she got pregnant again about 6 months before she left town. But she never said who the father was. Never posted about the baby online. She just disappeared, left Teddy with me, and moved to Miami to start over with a new baby, a new man, and a whole new name. But it got worse. The baby in the photo was listed in a child endangerment report. An anonymous tip had been filed saying the child had been seen in the same apartment as known drug traffickers. That baby, Shayla's second child, was in danger too. I didn't know what to feel. I was still trying to get legal custody of the first child she abandoned, and now there was a second one. A baby. Still with her. Living inside whatever mess she had gotten into. I told the investigator everything I knew. And 2 weeks later, I got a call. The state had opened a case on Shayla. Not just child abandonment. Now it was child endangerment, suspected trafficking, and possible fraud. They'd issued a warrant to check her residence in Miami. I don't know what I expected to feel when they told me they were going after her. Relief, maybe. But I just felt tired. Then the phone rang again. It was my lawyer. "There's something else," he said. "You're not going to like it." I was sitting in the parking lot outside Teddy's daycare when my lawyer called. I had just dropped him off with a peanut butter sandwich in one hand and his little blue hoodie dragging on the ground. When I picked up, my lawyer's voice was different. Slower. Serious. "There's something else," he said. "You're not going to like it." He paused. Then he said, "Shayla listed you as a dependent caregiver on a Medicaid fraud application." I didn't understand at first. "What do you mean?" "She used your name. Your address. She filed paperwork claiming you were part of her household, that you and Teddy both depended on her financially. She used that to apply for benefits in Florida." I felt my stomach drop. He kept talking. "We've flagged it already. It's being added to the investigation. But if you hadn't found that account, if we hadn't caught it, you could have been on the hook for felony-level fraud." That's when I realized Shayla didn't just abandon her kid. She tried to bury me while she did it. She knew what she was doing when she left Teddy with me. She never planned on coming back. She didn't want to be a mother anymore, but she wasn't going to let go clean. She used my name, my life, my address to keep getting benefits for a kid she walked away from. She probably thought I'd never find out. I was shaking when I got off the call. The next few weeks were a blur: court paperwork, interviews, more investigators. I was granted temporary custody of Teddy while the state moved forward on their end. But the hearing for full custody kept getting pushed. Then came the day I walked into court and saw someone sitting on the bench next to Shayla's public defender. It was my aunt, Shayla's mother. She hadn't said a word to me in 3 months. Not a call, not a text. And now here she was in court on Shayla's side. I sat there, stunned, while she told the judge that Shayla had just made a mistake. That she had always planned to come back for Teddy. That I was trying to take someone's child out of revenge. It didn't work. The judge ruled in my favor for extended custody. But I'll never forget that moment. My own aunt looking me in the eye like I was the villain. Shayla still hadn't spoken a word to me. She sat next to her lawyer, eyes blank, picking at her nails. Like none of it mattered. Like her son didn't matter. Like none of this was real. Sometimes Teddy still asks about her. Just little things, if she remembers his birthday, or if she's coming back to get him. I always say something soft, something safe. But inside, I keep thinking about how easy it was for her to walk away. And how fast everyone else looked away too. I didn't plan for any of this. I never asked to be his mom. But now that I am, I just hope one day he doesn't ask why she left, because I still don't know how to answer that without breaking.